Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and today, as you can see, we're in the living room, and what I thought we'd do is take a look at this. Now, I know some of you know that I actually collect vintage television sets, namely the very early British television sets from really 1950 and before. These are what are known as Band 1 sets. That's when in the UK basically all we had was the BBC. You had basically two transmitters. You had one in London and one in Birmingham, and if you was outside that transmitter range, you didn't have a TV. There was just not really any way of receiving TV. I mean, there was cases where people that were out of the TV range had massive like ornate aerial setups, so they could manage to get the signal in from one of the fringe areas. That's the era of TV that really interests me. I have quite a few. I have quite a considerable collection of these sets. But I do have a couple in the living room, just as display pieces. I have a Ferranti set, which is actually on the other side of me here, which is from around 1950, 1951. And then we have this. Now this is a PYE television set, and this is actually one of the oldest sets that I own. This is from around 1948, 1949. And what I thought we'd do, what I thought would be some fun, is to see if we can actually get this thing up and running again, and see if I can actually perhaps use it and watch some TV on it over Christmas. I've never actually had this particular set running. This set is in completely unrestored condition. Basically, I bought it at auction probably about 15 years ago or so. I do remember it wasn't quite in this nicer condition when I bought it. What I have done, the cabinet on it, all the veneer all the varnish basically had started to peel and fade on it. And I did redo the cabinet just to make it look reasonable to have in the living room. But I think I remember I tried bringing the actual set up on the Variac just to see what it would do, and I had a few pops and bangs come out as a few of the decoupling capacitors in there let go, so I actually didn't bother going any further with it at that point, because like I said, I do have quite a few vintage televisions and I had other ones I wanted to work on. But like I said, this one's always really lived in the living room, and I just thought it'd be really nice to actually have it as a working functional item in the living room. Now, what I've done is I've dug out, this is a copy of the Molly and Poole servicing manuals. Now I have the complete set of these, right from issue 1, right up to I think 1981, so from about 1950 up to 1981. And basically what these do is they cover all radio and television sets that were, and record players actually as well, and a few tape recorders. That were sold in the UK. It's basically a servicing guide. Now, even though these only started around 1950, the first two issues actually cover, the first issue covers radio sets, and this, which is the second issue, covers television sets. And it covers most British television sets that were made before 1953. And it does actually include the service data for this television. What I can't tell exactly is the exact model number of it, and it's a bit of a mystery, this set, because here's our service data. Oops, let's see if we can get that in shot for you. This is basically the service data for this range of sets. Like I said, around about 1948. Now, the console versions, which is what we've got here, are the D18T and the D18TF. And now, I don't believe this set is these. I think what we've basically got is a console version of either the LV20 or the BV20. Now the difference between those two sets, the LV20 was the set that was designed to run on the London transmitter, as well the BV20 was the set that was designed to run on the Birmingham transmitter. But those two are actually tabletop televisions as well. Like I said, as you can see this, it goes right down to the floor. This is actually a console set. But I do believe it actually uses either the LV20 or the BV20 chassis. The D18T is actually a very slightly different set. I think it's based on a pre-war set as well. These are one of the very first televisions that used a high frequency line transformer in them. Older televisions than this in general use what was known as mains derived EHT, which meant that the very high voltage that's used to drive the CRT literally came from a step-up transformer from the mains. And they were pretty lethal. They killed quite a few television engineers in their day. They're akin to nowadays messing with a microwave oven transformer, only the voltage is higher than you would get from a microwave oven transformer. And these PYEs were some of the first sets that did away with that and actually used basically a valve oscillator to create a high frequency and drove a high frequency transformer to produce that high voltage. But the advantage of that is you've got the very, very high voltage that you need to drive the CRT, but it's only got a very low current there. Actually touching it will, I mean, you'll get a shock and you'll get a bit of a burn, but there's not enough current there to really kill you unless you're being absolutely stupid. The voltage will collapse with the load of the resistance of your body, basically. So it does make these sets, although they're very, very early televisions, it does make them just that little bit safer to work on than like the much earlier sets, which I do tend to shy away from. I did actually have a mains EHT derived set, and I never actually plucked up the courage to work on it, and I actually sold it a few years ago. But I do fancy, like I say, I do fancy having a go at trying to get this set going. There are some things that may stop us, mainly the CRT here. They possibly couldn't stop us because I do have some sets which haven't been restored that again have got a CRT in them. What we're going to do first is what we generally, when we into these vintage TVs, is referred to as get first light. So in the next video I'm going to do on this, basically what we're going to do is we're going to strip the chassis out of here. We'll get it on the bench, we'll do some preliminary tests on it, and then what we'll do is we'll do the minimum amount of work we need to do to it to be able to get it to fire up and actually see if we can get a raster to appear on the screen. If we can get a raster to appear on the screen, then it's worth us investing some more time in it and some more components in it, and actually see if we can actually get the set into full working order again, especially if it's got a nice bright CRT on it. That's so we don't know. I've never had this set actually powered up. I don't know the condition of the CRT. All the other valves in there aren't an issue. I have boxes and boxes of them. Anything else that's failed valve wise we can replace. Like I said, the CRTs are the unknown issue because we don't know how much life, how much the TV has been used in its previous life, whether the CRT's ever been replaced or not. That's why I said the first thing we want to do is ascertain that the actual CRT is going to function and get enough of the television set to actually work that we can get the CRT to produce a raster. If we can do that, like I said, we'll carry on and we'll see if we can actually get this television up into back into working order, and hopefully I'll be able to watch some television over Christmas on it. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there now. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed this little introduction to like a bit of a mini project. It's going to be quite a quick one because I mean we're halfway through December now, so I would like to try and see if we can get this working before December the 24th. So yeah, that's a little challenge I'm going to set for myself to see if I can get this television set actually fully working and fully operational before Christmas. So like I say, I'm going to leave it there for now. I hope you enjoyed this little update video. So thanks for watching and goodbye.